The following program does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station.
The following pre-recorded program is brought to you by Vertuvian, a Texas-based registered investment advisor.
Now, let the uprising begin.
There are only two genders, and one of them is right here. It's the box that rocks. This is the Angela Box Show on AM 1070 and FM 1033. The Answer.
Hello, hello, hello. Once again, all my fellow patriots and you filthy leftist stalkers out there. You're listening to Angela. Where am I? The Angela Box Show. Poor Corey. Let me just tell you, I got to give a shout out to my producer, Corey. First of all, it's his last day here with me, and he's just done an amazing job. He's actually going to be teaching full time, and I said, well, that's good. You know, dedicate the time to your kids. And what's great, he works at a magnet school, and he teaches an elective. So I'm like, oh, that's actually probably pretty chill. It's not the Thunderdome situation I used to deal with. But I want to thank him for doing such an amazing job, and so you will be missed, Corey. But poor Corey had to, I scared him this morning. Very, very, very much so. I got another CO2 laser. Now, before all of you go, oh, this woman. Let me tell you something, okay? When you get older, your skin goes through some changes, okay, ladies? And I will say this to any girl, any woman who's like, you know, I can't find a man, or there's two camps, okay, of these women. One camp will say, I don't need a man. And those are the girls you see that are overweight and all having brunch together, all their overweight friends, you know, drinking heavily at brunch and eating way too much, and they're all together. Those are the ones saying, I don't need a man. Well, that's a lie, because every girl is looking for a good man, okay? I'm sorry. That's just the natural order of things. Then there's the other camp of people who are like, I just can't find anybody. I don't know. And I will say this, as someone who has, you know, found my forever person, but it took a long time, and I didn't find him. God put him in my path. And what I would say to anybody who's looking, work on yourself. Become the best version of you can be. That means getting off your butt and exercising, eating properly. Well, you know, cut down on the drinking maybe. Invest in some good hair care. Invest in a good hairdresser. And learn how to do your makeup properly. Because I look at old pictures of me. I'm scanning all these old pictures because my high school reunion is coming up, and I was finding these ones when I lived in L.A. And the last part when I lived in L.A., I mean, I looked a hot ass mess, you guys. I mean, I was chunky. I looked drunk all the time. My hair was gross, and I had to do my makeup. I'm like, no wonder nobody would date me. Yeah. So, word to the wise, ladies, stay hot and stay in shape. That's how you're going to work on yourself and find you a good man. All right, but back to the CO2 thing. So I walk in today, and I look like I've been beaten. And it's like, no, Fred did not beat me. Although we're going through the prenup right now. And I told him straight up, I was like, I'll sign whatever you put in front of me. I don't care. But he was like, well, in the prenup, there is this one part where it says I get to beat you once a year. I was like, okay, well, that's fine. You know, just once a year, like, as you do. Joking. Don't clutch your pearls. But I got this CO2 laser, okay? And it's like the most hardcore laser you can get. And it looks really gross for about a week. I will say this, the last time I did it, I was put under because I was doing some other work before the wedding, if you catch my drift. And so I didn't feel it the last time. Well, this time, they gave me the laughing gas. They put this nerve stuff on me. They put numbing cream on me. And it was no joke. It was so rough. And I'm like, man, if that's the kind of thing you need to be put under for. And that reminds me of this new fad. Well, it's not a fad. I think it's a return to normalcy that we're seeing in our culture just in general. Pete Davidson, you know, that goofy guy, the comedian, he's not a bad actor. He is talented. But he was on Saturday Night Live for a while. He's done some movies. And he famously covered in tattoos, just covered. And recently, he had all of his tattoos removed, like all of them lasered off. And everyone was like, oh my God, that must have been so painful. I was like, look, he probably went under anesthesia to do that. Like, that's the only way that I can imagine doing that. And he's got the money to do it, so good for him. But I guess, moral of the story, just don't get him in the first place. Because I don't think people understand that one day you're going to be 85 years old, okay? And no one wants to see grandma with a sleeve, okay? That's weird. It's off-putting. It's strange, okay? Just don't go down that road in the first place. That's my humble opinion. Okay. Oh, breaking news this morning, as I'm taping this on Wednesday. Sylvester Turner has passed away, who was the mayor of Houston, and he was recently just elected to Congress. And now that he's passed, I can tell a story of, I got a chance to talk to him before he went off to D.C., and I said, listen, I just want to congratulate you on your, that you're going to get to have this kind of an opportunity of a lifetime. It's at the end of his career. And I said, I wanted to say congratulations on, I thought his cancer was in remission. I guess maybe it'd come back. I'm not sure what his cause of death was, but my guess is that it was the cancer recurring. And I said, you have a choice to make when you go to D.C. You can either be, a force for good, or you can, fall in line with these other deep state actors and do bad things. And I said, I really hope you make the right decision and do some good while you're there. But unfortunately, he was only in office for about 65 days and he's passed. So now the sweepstakes is going to be in Houston. What crazy lunatics are going to try and vie for his seat? Now, I have my thoughts. And I think I know two of the people who might be vying for his seat. I don't know. This is just my speculation. I have no inside track here. This literally just happened. But my guess is that people like Representative Ron Reynolds might run for the seat. Representative Jolanda Jones might run for the seat. I think Amanda Edwards is going to run for the seat. It'll be interesting. Now, in my heart of hearts, because I love drama, okay? And this woman is drama. If I'm drama on the conservative side, this woman's drama on the liberal side, okay? In my heart of hearts, I really would like to see Jolanda get the seat, because she and Jasmine Crockett would be up there. First of all, they would be in total competition with each other. They would try and out-ghetto each other at every turn. Yeah, that's right, I said it. And for me, that would be pure entertainment. So, in my heart of hearts, Jolanda, run for the seat. You have my full endorsement, because there's no way it's ever going to go for a Republican. So, rest in peace, Mayor Turner. I know that he was not the favorite, and I know he had some corruption issues, but let us hope he made his peace with God, his maker, before he passed. And so, rest in peace, Sylvester Turner. When we get back, we are going to discuss the joint address to Congress, because I have lots of thoughts. That was one for the record books, ladies and gentlemen. So when we get back, we're going to jump into that. You're listening to the Angela Buck Show. I'll be right back.
It's conservative, air combat, armed and ready. This is the Angela Box Show on AM 1070 and FM 1033. The Answer.
Okay, before we get to last night's or Tuesday night's address, I have to talk about this hemp bill that the state legislature is looking to pass. I'm sorry, as someone who has quit drinking, I enjoy a Delta 9 gummy. That's right, I said it. They are legal. They're perfectly legal. I get them delivered. It's not a big deal. A lot of people do them, and they call it California Sober, okay? And for some people, it really works for them. For some people, it makes them loopy. For some people, it puts them to sleep. It has different effects on different people. But this is what is really annoying to me, is right now we've got Charles Perry of Lubbock, who's backed by Governor Patrick, who's basically the bill would make it illegal to possess or manufacture THC products outside the state's medical marijuana program, with penalties of up to 1 year in jail for possession. I mean, what? 1 year in jail for possession and 2 to 10 years in prison for manufacturing. I'm sorry. Let me just keep it 100 here, you guys. Alcohol and the abuse of alcohol is a lot worse for you than taking a gummy, okay, or vaping off a little bit of legal THC. I'm not talking about the people that get up and wake and bake and smoke grass all day long. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not productive. But this level of THC in these gummies and these products it's negligible, and it's been legal in the state for quite some time. Also, hemp is a product that is used in many types of things. Our founding fathers grew hemp. So I'm no. This to me, it's just like, you know what it's like? It's like they won't allow gambling in the state. They won't allow us to have that kind of resource, those jobs to come into the state. They won't allow that either. Now, I understand it's a slippery slope. Lieutenant Governor, and Mr. Perry from Lubbock, I will say this to you. There are people who have true addictions to alcohol, okay? That I was not an alcoholic or anything like that. I just quit drinking. But these products have helped them. It has helped people to get off of alcohol. And it's just like, stop it. We give people some personal autonomy here. There have been many states that have decriminalized THC. And I think that Texas needs to do that. Again, I don't think that the waking and the baking culture is what we're talking about here. And I do think that there can be some sort of a system in place where if you get stopped, they can do a test for that too. So you're not drinking and, vaping or whatever. But, I mean, come on. Like, lighten up is what I would say. So I am definitely not for that bill that is trying to make its way through. I don't like that. Okay. So Charles Perry argues that the hemp industry has, quote, exploited the 2019 law authorizing the sale of consumable hemp to the point of endangering public health. Okay, again, so you'd rather people drink to excess and ruin their livers and their lives and get DUIs. You'd rather that than them to be able to take a gummy and, like, get a little buzz? Like, are you serious right now? Stay out of this. What? You don't have anything better to do in Austin? How about taking Doge? Let's Doge it in Texas. You want to do this crap instead? Meddle in people's lives? I mean, I'm sorry, but this is like the Baptists, excuse me, sorry, not sorry, rearing their heads here. This is the ultra-religious right rearing their heads, trying to tell people what to do. I'm not here for it. I am a libertarian in this regard, and I don't like it. Corey, you co-sign me? He's like, yes, girl, preach. It's ridiculous. It's like, come on, there's other things they need to be worrying about. Okay, the hemp industry is pushing back, arguing that a total ban would eliminate approximately 50,000 jobs and an $8 billion annual industry. That's not insignificant. 50,000 jobs in Texas and $8 billion brought into the state's coffers. Why not legalize it and then collect the tax revenue? We're not legalizing meth. We're not legalizing fentanyl. Like, calm down. Calm down, people. I don't like that at all. I don't like it. So again, you'd rather people pickle their livers and get pancreatic cancer as opposed to taking a gummy and getting a similar effect. Like, no, not here for it. I will be fighting this one tooth and nail. And hopefully I'm going to be able to get a rep on to talk about this maybe in the next few weeks, because no. All right, let's talk about the joint address from Tuesday night. So that was something. I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to go play by play of what I noticed, okay? So they announced the cabinet. Trump's cabinet came in, And what I loved, first of all, right off the bat, none of them even looked to the Democrat side. Because they're all sitting there, sitting on their hands, and they're pissed. Oh, they're pissed. And the cabinet takes their sweet time coming in, and they're shaking everyone's hands, they're hugging people. Marco's talking to his former colleagues, and, it was really cool. And I love the cabinet. I think the cabinet he has picked is really, really special. With Howard Lutnick, with Scott Bessent, Marco, Pam, Cash, down the line. Just fantastic. All of them doing a phenomenal job. All of them working with Elon Musk to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse in their cabinets, which is great, which is what the American people want. Okay? Then Trump comes in. And again, doesn't even look at the Democrats. F them. Okay? F them. You don't want a part of this American renewal? Bye. You'll be left in the dustbin of history, and they are quickly being left in the dustbin of history. So Trump comes in, he gets I don't even know. Corey, can you Google how long that standing ovation was? Real quick. It was 5 minutes. It was crazy. I've never seen that before. And it wasn't just that they were welcoming Trump back to the joint Congress, the chamber. It was the fact that they've done so much to him. And even the Republicans that were very much go along to get along, or they listen to the media more than they should, thinking, oh, well, no one likes Trump. Think about everything this guy has gone through. He's been impeached twice over total BS, complete BS. Let me remind you what the impeachments were for, okay? A phone call with Zelenskyy where he said, hey, Joe Biden and his family seem to have gotten rich off of doing deals in Ukraine. Could you look into that? And what's up? Can you look into this whole thing where Joe Biden was bragging about getting the prosecutor that was looking into his son, how he got him fired, or he wasn't going to get the $1 billion of Obama aid? Could you look into that? And the way they twisted it, like Adam Schiff lying through his teeth, the way they twisted it saying, and Alexander Vindman, Alexander Vindman, the brave whistleblower who was, quote, on the call, who said that Trump was browbeating Zelenskyy, telling him he wanted a quid pro quo, which didn't happen. So then Trump releases the transcript of the call and called their bluff, and they still impeached him. So that was the second impeachment, or the first impeachment. The second impeachment was because of January 6th, because he was telling people to be peaceful and telling people to make their voices heard. He never called for an insurrection. He didn't tell anyone to storm the Capitol and to hurt people, and that's not what happened anyway. So it was just all garbage, okay? Then, when he was out of office, what'd they do? They indicted him on 8 million things. They convicted him on a bunch of kangaroo court crap with a bunch of Democrat judges and Democrat juries and Democrat jurisdictions. And we're supposed to think that was fair. And they convicted him of sexual assaulting a bag of bones who has rape fantasies, an old crone by the name of E. Jean Carroll, who had no witnesses, no video evidence. Nobody could say that Trump was so enamored by this beautiful bag of bones. This crazy lady who writes about her rape fantasies on Twitter, that he followed her into a dressing room at Bergdorf Goodwin and had his way with her. Oh, okay. Literally no witnesses, no corroborating evidence. The dress she said that she wore when Trump did this to her, Donna Karen had to come out and say, well, actually that dress I manufactured that dress in 1998, not 1996. And she couldn't even think of the year that it happened. But she settled on 1990. She was like, I think it was 1996. I mean, guys, if you're actually raped or sexually assaulted, I assure you remember every single thing about that. You remember the year, you remember what happened, you probably remember what you were wearing, the whole nine. Okay? Did we find out how long that ovation was? Couldn't find it? Yeah, the media did. Isn't that interesting? The media didn't want to tell us how long that ovation was. It was about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. It was crazy. Anyway, then he gets shot at twice, takes a bullet in the head because it grazed his ear. If he had not moved his head 1 millimeter, he would be dead, which is the hand of God, 100%. And then the other dude, that Randy Roush guy, takes a shot at him from the bushes near his golf course. By the way, I hope I remember to talk about the Zelenskyy connection to that guy when we get to the Zelenskyy stuff in the third segment. I hope I can remember that. Because last week I remembered I was going to talk about Karen Bass and totally forgot, but we'll see. Anyway, he's been through everything. And so I think when he comes back to Congress, not only did he go through all of that, not only did the American people not listen and just like kept telling people, guys, this time we have to make it too big to rig. We have to overcome their cheating. And that's what they understood they couldn't do. The numbers were so huge, they knew they couldn't pull the crap they did in 2020. They didn't have COVID. They still had the mail-in ballots, but they knew that they were not going to be able to have enough mail-in ballots. Dropped it. 1:30 in the morning, 98% went to Senator knee pads. Like, they knew they weren't going to be able to pull this crap they did. I mean, they tried. The fraud that they did, I contend, and I think we're going to come to find out, if we can get to it, there's so many other fires to put out, so many other things to expose. But I think that what we're going to find out is the fraud that they did do was just to make Senator knee pads not look like a complete fool. Okay? So they were like, let's give her some votes here, because they had to cobble together interviews from 60 Minutes to make her not look like a raging idiot. So anyway, that's a whole other side note. Okay. So he comes back, he wins the popular vote, he wins the Electoral College in a landslide. He wins 2,500 counties to 500 counties. He keeps bringing that up. That's important. When you look at the map of the United States, it's red. There are blue little dots, okay? But the rest of it's red. All right, when we get back, we'll talk about the rest of this fantastic evening that we all witnessed on Tuesday night. You're listening to Angela Box Show. We'll be right back.
Hey, fellow patriots and filthy leftist stalkers. It's Angela Box at AM 1070 and FM 1033. The Answer.
All right, so back to this joint address. So he comes into this thunderous, 5-minute standing ovation. Democrats are sitting on their... And the Democrats started by, they're going to stand up, and a couple of them took off their shirts, took off their jackets, and it said, resist. And they turned around and walked out. Oh, they'll show them. We'll show you, President Trump. Everyone's like, okay. And then they have their little gay little signs. Yeah, that's right, I said it. I don't mean gay like homosexual. I have no problem with homosexuals that are not groomers and don't try and shove their insane, don't try and talk about transgendering little kids. But regular gay people, no problem with regular gay people. I mean gay in the sense of lame, okay? They're gay little signs that they held up. Musk is stealing. Musk steals. False. All these dumb little signs they had that they held up. Like children. And then the coup de grace, before I'll get into the speech, the coup de grace is that all the women and the transgender Democrat rep, a man named Sarah McBride, totally vague that one, and some crazy-looking lady that looks like she's from the Dark Crystal movies with the purple hair. I mean, that woman looks like straight out of a Grimm's fairy tale, like for real, like the witch in Hansel and Gretel that's going to put Hansel in the oven, like for real. Scary lady. I think it's Rosa DeLaura, if I'm not mistaken. She's a piece of work. Anyway, they're all wearing, a bunch of the women, which it's weird, this is what's strange to me. They're wearing pink to symbolize how much Trump is hurting women, yet most of them cannot define what a woman is. And all of them voted against banning men in women's sports. So make it make sense. I guess it's just, they just want to abort up to 9 months. That's the only thing. It's the only thing they care about. It's so gross, you guys. It's so gross. So they're all sitting there thinking they're going to be doing their little, show trial or their perfunctory little, we'll show you. And before this whole thing even came out, this is what was so wild to me. What we're starting to see is, real true panic in certain Democrats, like Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer, Cory Booker, a whole bunch of them that got Ukraine money. Let's just stipulate this. If you see a Democrat holding a little, dumb microphone, like one of those little microphones that you do for social media videos, and speaking from the literal exact same script, they got some Ukraine money, okay? 100%. So there's like 22 of them that the day before or earlier on Tuesday came out with their little social media videos, with their holding their little microphones, like, "Hi guys, hi folks, hey folks out there." And I've told you how I hate the word folks. I think it's the most pandering thing you can say to people. It's like kiddos. Okay, oh my kiddos. All these leftist teachers will be like, "Oh, we gotta help the kiddos." Anyway, don't get me started. Anyway, folks and kiddos work my last nerve. But they're like, "Hey folks, here's the awful things that President Trump is doing, and Elon Musk, he's stealing our money." It's like, what? Elon Musk has more money than you and I and everybody in this world could ever spend ever. Okay? Stop it. Elon Musk, you are just upset about Elon Musk because he's going through and he's finding all the stuff you spent our money on. And it's not just that they spent our money on it, guys. It's the kickbacks. It's the kickbacks that we are going to start to see. Okay? Let's see. Let's talk about some of the things that Trump talked about that they've identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegals. $45 million for DEI scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. And Trump goes, nobody knows what that is. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho. And then Trump goes, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $8 million for making mice transgender. He goes, yes, this is real. I mean, on and on and on and on and on. That was a really lighthearted moment. It was lighthearted for a while, and then people stopped laughing. People stopped laughing because they started figuring out, wait a minute, our money went to this crap? You can't justify this, Democrats. You cannot tell me that any of this is legitimate. So when Elon and people like Data Republican, who's also being threatened, these autists, these, genius pod people, for lack of a better word, that are able to look at this data and look at these numbers and make sense out of it because you and I can't, which is what they were figuring on, that no one would ever be able to, start pulling the strings and start unraveling it and connecting all these dots. But these people who have these brains that can do this, that's what they're doing, and they're being threatened. When people start understanding who really got this money, because, again, there's no explanation for why someone like Elizabeth Warren goes into Congress worth nothing, basically. She was a college professor and a senator. She was a college professor and then a senator. Senators make, I don't know, $175 a year, which if you're living in Washington, D.C. and then have a home in your district is like nothing, okay? I assure you. Sounds like a lot of money to most people, and it would be. But to live in Washington, D.C. and then to have a home in your state, that's not that much money, okay? But she's worth multi tens of millions of dollars. Nancy Pelosi's worth like $200 million. How? So that's what's going to be fun, is when they start talking about the kickbacks. All right, let's see what else. So they can't clap for anything. They couldn't even clap for Trump talking about how he just captured the terrorist that was responsible for the Abbey-Gate murders with Joe Biden's apocalyptically bad Afghanistan withdrawal, that they caught him and they brought him to the United States. They couldn't even clap for that. They didn't clap for Mark Fogel, the hostage that Russia had for so many years, being released. And Russia, it was everyone's like, well, what did Russia get for it? What did you do for Putin? And they're like, nothing. It was a sign of good faith. It was a sign of we want to open up lines of communication here again. Which do y'all remember? It's watching these people. Hillary Clinton, who talks about how Trump's Putin's puppet. I'm like, heifer, you literally paid for the dossier. You paid Russian disinformation people to create a dossier about Trump. Okay? Have several seats. You literally had a little reset button when you were Secretary of State Oh, here's a little reset button that me and Obama want to give Russia. What are you? Again, sit down, heifer. Anyway, so they couldn't clap for that. They couldn't clap for Lake and Riley's family because, of course, Joe Biden opened the border to millions and millions of illegal aliens, and they're like, "Oh, we can't stop it. They just want to come. They just want to come, you guys. There's nothing we can do." And Trump, probably the best line of the night, he said, "Turns out we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president because illegal alien crossings are down like 98% since Joe Biden left office." Why do you think that is? Anyway, I hate these people are disgusting. Then the most heartwarming moment of the night that these ghouls sat on their hands about. Sat on their hands. You guys, I was sobbing. This little boy named DJ Daniels, and it looked like his dad is from Texas. He was wearing a Lone Star flag shirt. This sweet child who Trump said, we have to protect our law enforcement. We have to stand behind our law enforcement. They're so important. Da-da-da-da. Then he says, I want to introduce you to DJ Daniels. DJ Daniels has wanted to be a police officer from when he was a little boy. And they showed this young man, he's 13 years old, and they showed him. And I said to Fred, I was like, well, he might be a little, special. I'm like, oh my goodness, bless his heart. Because he looked very small for 13. And then Trump let everyone let it known that he has brain cancer. And all of these police organizations throughout the country have given him honorary police badges. And then he said, and tonight, DJ, you're going to get a Secret Service badge. And I'm telling you, and then the head of the Secret Service came, and he was so surprised and so just over, like touched. I mean, not a dry eye. These ghouls, these repugnant Democrats sat on their hands for that too. Couldn't even clap for a child who has probably terminal brain cancer and doing something special for him. Can't even do that. The only time these garbage humans clapped, the only time, was when Trump was like, and we've given hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine, and they started clapping. They started, standing for Ukraine. We're going to talk about that in the last segment. Elizabeth Warren, she's lost her damn mind. She's like just clapping like an insane person. And Trump looks at them and he's like, oh, you want this to go on for another 5 years? And they all keep clapping. That's the only time they clapped. Why? Because they're getting kickbacks. Millions and millions of dollars of kickbacks. And there's a bunch of Democrats on that list, and there's a couple of Republicans too, by the name of Mitch McConnell, Mitt Romney, and Eye Patch McCain, Dan Crenshaw, who stands for Ukraine like no Republican I have seen ever. Anyway, the speech was fantastic. Overall, just phenomenal. It was a return to common sense, a rejection of wokeism, and the fact that the Democrats didn't applaud for any of it shows you where they stand. They are against the American people, ladies and gentlemen. And have you noticed not one single Democrat is in favor of what Doge is doing? What does that tell you? Not one of them. All right, we're going to talk about this Zelenskyy mess when we get back, because this has been interesting. You're listening to Angela Box Show. Be right back.
Infuriating the far left, Democrats, socialists, and communists. It's Angela Box on AM 1070 and FM 1033. The Answer.
All right, let me just real quick before we do the Zelenskyy. Let me give you the bullet points that Trump talked about that the Democrats are just like, no, we don't want this. Free speech, Gulf of America, death of DEI, renaming Mount McKinley, Doge, merit-based hiring, two genders. I mean, again, what? The fact that we have to say that is so stupid. No men and women sports, common sense, official language, English. And they looked like they were just beyond. They were just beyond. Before we get to the Zelenskyy stuff, I want to talk about the George Floyd case, because this is coming up again. We were in a crazy time in 2020 when that George Floyd thing happened. And they made it out to be that Derek Chauvin murdered George Floyd. When the autopsy came out, and there was so much evidence suppressed in his case. But when the autopsy came out, it said no life-threatening injuries identified. I'm looking at it right now. No life-threatening injuries identified. Okay? And then you look at what really killed him, which was a heart attack due to what? This is what he had in his system. 5 times lethal doses of fentanyl, norofentanyl, 6 times the amount, methamphetamine, hydroxydelta THC, so he's high, delta 9, so he had a gummy, cotinine positive, caffeine positive, okay? Now, whatever your opinion on Derek Chauvin is, I think this needs to be re-examined. I think it needs to be looked at again, because fair is fair and right is right. This officer did not murder George Floyd. He had his knee on his neck to subdue him, okay? He was put into the back of a car fully alive. Now, obviously, if he said, I can't breathe, you should have gotten off them. We can all agree on that. I've said this for years. The crime that Derek Chauvin did was smirking into a camera looking arrogant, okay? During 2020, during this insanity. And they want to throw away the key and lock this guy up for the rest of his life. This needs to be reopened. This needs to be looked at. And I think Ben Shapiro has been talking about it. Elon's now talking about it. I mean, I'm sorry. He didn't kill the man. And let's take down those statues too, because George Floyd was not a good man. He was a multi-felonious, drug-addicted criminal who, never forget, put a gun in the belly of an 8-month-old pregnant lady. Okay? This guy was not a good guy. And the fact that the left went, gave him like 2 state funerals, buried him in a gold casket. BLM, aka BM, raised hundreds of millions of dollars over this grift. And none of the money went to the black community. None of the money went to anything to do with improving black lives. None of it. Not one bit went to buy their houses and to put in their pockets, which has been discovered. This needs to be reopened. This needs to be looked at, and I pray that it is. Okay, let's get to the Zelenskyy stuff. Okay, so Zelenskyy comes, and the beatdown we saw Zelenskyy receive in the Oval Office was received very differently by the right and the left. Of course, the left is like, oh my God, Zelenskyy was treated so poorly, this amazing war hero. He's just trying to save his country. And Trump just belittled him and berated him. It's like, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. This a-hole comes in, and Howard Lutnick, who's doing an amazing job as Commerce Secretary, and he's getting ready to explain the reciprocal tariffs a little more clearly so the markets can calm the hell down already. It's reciprocal, meaning you give one to us, we give one to you. That's how it is. Anyway, Howard Lutnick said that before the meeting, 40 minutes before the meeting, Zelensky's in there demanding no concessions whatsoever. He's demanding that we give him $300 billion more. He's demanding to be in NATO. And it's like, what? Like, the whole point of you coming here was to sign a mineral rights deal and to start the ceasefire process. But see, Zelenskyy was feeling himself because he went and talked to a bunch of Democrats before who, against the Logan Act, were basically telling him to, not do this mineral rights deal and to yell at Trump in front of the cameras. That's what they told him to do. They're like, don't worry, we've got your back. They're so stupid. These people are literally, they're morons, okay? So Zelenskyy comes. He basically rolls his eyes, smirking, says F-U-B in Ukrainian or something to that effect to J.D. Vance, and they were not having it. I was so proud of what Trump and Vance did. It's like, you do not come here and disrespect the United States after we've given you $300 billion, and the whole point of today was to sign a mineral rights deal. And you come here and make these demands, and then you make threats to us saying, oh, well, there may be an ocean between you now, but you're going to feel it soon. It's like, really? How so? How's that going to happen? And, of course, the leftists, again, meltdown. Kicked out Zelenskyy. How dare you do that? How dare you kick out Zelenskyy? And now Zelensky's like putting on Twitter, it was a regrettable meeting that we had, and we would love to sign the mineral rights deal and start talking about a lasting peace. Oh, I bet you would. I bet you would. Because they started to figure out, Europe's not going to be able to foot your little money laundering bill. And Trump's like, I'm not giving you any more money, period, at the end. Like, that's done. And so I think Zelenskyy realizes, yeah, it's time to come to the table. Now, I did remember this. I'm so proud of myself. So this is a little suspicious. Modernity, which is Paul Joseph Watson's website, really great website. Get on his email list, okay? There is an article, and it says, this is sus. So there's a picture of Zelenskyy, this NGO chef, which I guess is named, I don't know what his name is. Let me double check here. I don't want to impugn someone that shouldn't be impugned. But basically there's 3 pictures, okay? It's a picture of Zelenskyy pointing at this chef who's like chef of this NGO. Then there's a picture of same chef pointing to Ryan Roush, who was the Trump would-be assassin on the golf course, which again, I cannot wait to open the books on Butler, and I cannot wait to open the books on Florida because the Secret Service was in on it. That's right, I said it. I'm not saying the ones on the, not saying the rank and file, but the ones at the top, they knew something was going on there. Let's see, who is this? Brian Rout. Who is the chef? Who is the chef? Okay. I can't even see the name of the chef. Oh, wait, hang on. Ah, here it is. Oh. And this guy is like a friend of Meghan Markle, or he was. Jose Andres, okay? He's a Spanish chef. He's the founder of World Central Kitchen, a nonprofit organization that provides meals in the wake of natural disasters. So he gets billions and billions of aid money from USAID probably. So it's a picture of Zelenskyy, doing basically a thumbs up to this guy. Then the next picture is this Jose Andres guy pointing at Ryan Routh, like basically giving him a thumbs up. And then the third picture they're showing is Joe Biden giving Jose Andres this Presidential Medal of Freedom. Huh. That's interesting, wouldn't you say? Like, what is this about? That's a little, is that sus, Corey? Is that a little sus? That's a little sus. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for all the books to be open. We didn't even get to the Epstein stuff. Let's cover that just briefly here. Calm down, everybody. It's all going to come out. This is a sting operation. This is the biggest sting operation the world has ever seen. Okay? And we've got one shot to do it right. We have one shot to do it right. We need to make sure everything lines up. So all these rumors that we've heard about the Wiener laptop and the police officers throwing up and this thing called Frazzle Drip, which if you want to go down that rabbit hole, go on X and put in Frazzle Drip, Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin. There's all kinds of crazy, sick things that are going to come out, but we've got to do it right. And the SDNY dragging their feet, the FBI office and the SDNY office in New York, this is going to wake the normies up to go, wait a minute. What do you mean the FBI didn't hand over everything? Why would they not hand over everything? Oh, could it be because everything that Trump and us conspiracy theorists have been saying is actually true? Yeah, that's what we're going to come to find out. So just have patience, everybody. It's all going to come out. God's got this. That's the thing, guys. God has got this. And on that note, guys, I'm getting married in like 2 weeks. Again, no one is as surprised as I am. Okay? Nobody. I want to thank Corey, who's done an amazing job for me. I will miss you. Best of luck on your endeavors. And until next time, everybody, keep kicking ass and taking names. Peace!